welcome to episode 78 of TerrorVision Horror Podcast, the Christmas Spoilercast. Ding, 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 ding. Yeah, whatever. I'm one of your hosts, Dan McGuinness, and joining me on my midnight meat train is my co-host, Jennifer, the Dream Warrior Strand. Toot, toot. Yes, each fortnight, Jennifer and I set ourselves a movie to watch, a horror movie to watch, and then we go through it scene by scene and just talk about it and rip it to pieces and spoil the fuck out of it and tear shreds off it with our little mouths and gobble it down. Anyhow, it's a deep dive into glorious gore, hard edits, cheesy acting, directing madness, severed wangs, which is very important, and compound fractures.
Also very important.
I know. Together we are two people with a love of horror, and we feel the burn of our obsolete Blockbuster memberships. We'd just like to thank all the listeners who support us over on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Breaker, Castbox, Google Podcasts, Radio Public, I Heart the Radio, you love the YouTube, whatever the fuck, we're on everything. We totally are. So just go onto the internet and type TerrorVision Horror Podcast and you will definitely find it. Definitely. We also love to shout out with the people who interact with us over on our socials, which is fucking getting crazy. People like Adam Gillespie, The Projectionist, David Wetsuit Watson, yes, Wetsuit Watson, Patrick Roberts. We're going to somehow, just as we go through each week, we're just going to make up some little nicknames as we go along. Not everyone's going to get a nickname, just some randos.
You'll know why.
Yeah, you'll know why. Brandon Elliott Summers, thank you. Never Noose, he came and visited me. Thank you very much. Kevin Patterson, Sarah Sullivan, Dion Crackpipe Cracknell. And Jen's mum, who I don't know her name, but I'm going to call her Jennifer's birthing canal mother. Yeah, that's a good one. Anyhow, fuck. We got a rating system, so you're not like sitting there wafting like farts into your own face at the end.
Just quiffed in my face, buddy.
Yeah, quiff.
Sorry. So for everybody playing at home, we have A, awesome, everybody should watch. B is our beer and chicken wing group movie. F is fun and dumb. C, a classic that's worth a watch. U is underrated. O, an overrated motherfucker. G, good for its time but has not held up. We've got the J, Jen special. A D-grade movie only Jen would like.
I wrote that.
You wrote that. We've got D, Dan special, a movie with lots of practical effects and dismemberment and dicks.
Oh.
I added that. W is whatever. Pfft. We've also got the Kesha low-budget hot mess. C minus, craft is stellar, but I hate the content. And of course, we have the McConaughey.
All right.
This movie's fucked.
I fuck young girls. I don't know the line from what is it?
Dazed and Confused.
Yeah, it's not I fuck young girls.
It's not. It's like it's the thing I like about high school girls is I get older, but they stay the same age.
Yuck. And this week, speaking of McConaughey's, we watched Jack Frost as our Christmas fucking movie from 1997.
Yes, not to be confused with the Michael Keaton Jack Frost family movie that came out in 1998.
My media box or whatever they call it, media thing where you put all your files in and you can play movies on everything. It confused it and it put in the pictures for the kids movie, as like all the writing for it. But when you went in, it was the horror movie.
Yeah.
Amazing.
That's fair. So this is directed by Michael Cooney. It is also written by Michael Cooney and Jeremy Page. It stars Scott McDonald, Christopher Alport, and the budget and box office is basically, who the fuck knows? I couldn't find any information on this film. It did not go to the cinema, I don't think. It would have just been a straight to VHS.
I don't think it even went to VHS. I think it went straight to download.
No, it went to VHS because it had this was one of those films in the video shop that I always picked up and thought that the cover was cool because it was that lenticular cover of a really happy, nice snowman, and then you just change it slightly, Demon Snowman.
Because the other cover is like a CG picture of a yelling snowman, which never, ever features in the film.
No, it doesn't.
Which is amazing. What's its catchline?
He's chillin' and killin'.
Ooh.
A notorious serial killer is being driven to his execution. The truck carrying him encounters a bizarre accident that transforms him into a mutant snowman. The sheriff who originally caught the psychopath has remained concerned about his return, and it seems that his fears are well-founded. Before long, bodies pile up and all killed in gruesome, wintry ways. Can the sheriff stop the murderer's icy reign of terror?
Can he? Does anyone know? Does anyone care? Okay, this fucking rat pile of a film. It's
straight off the bat, you're not even going to pretend to like it for a little bit?
No, it's a king rat. A rat king.
Sure.
You know what a rat king is?
No.
Haven't we been through this before?
Possibly. All I can think of is Hail Ratma.
Right? While we're doing this, I'll do the opening of the film. You look up on your computer Rat King.
All right.
And not the Ninja Turtle Rat King. But yeah, anyhow, the film opens with a voiceover of like, it's kind of like shots of a Christmas tree.
Oh, this is interesting. Rat King. Yeah.
Yeah, it's weird, eh? It's a real thing. We will talk about it in 1 second. So it opens with a voiceover of like a child talking, which is clearly just an adult lady making out. She's a kid going, "I'm a little girl," and I'm like, oh my god, this is horrible. And like the credits are, it's just panning to a Christmas tree, and all the ornaments have like written on them the director. And
Yeah,
it was okay.
so, like,
It was fine. Like.
But, like, I really enjoyed the dialogue because it's this little kid asking her uncle, and it's obviously, like, whatever weird uncle comes around at Christmas. She's like, tell me a story. And he's like, okay.
Tell me a story. Oh, I was like...
And he starts telling her this story, but it's absolutely deranged and horrific. When you really listen to it, it's like, oh, this guy, he's, like, calm, and he's killing everyone, and it's Christmas.
He basically just goes over the story of... like, you know, all events that have happened up until the point of the film. Yeah. So you've got this deranged killer that... Did he kill on Christmas? Was there a reason for him to be like...
Probably.
Yeah, he just talks about this killer who kills all these people and then gets caught.
This was the movie's first mistake.
And he goes, and tonight... And it ends the story, and tonight is the night he's getting executed.
Yeah. Yeah. So they could have made this better if they'd have had an actual... weird guy and a small child, and he's telling this story to this kid in bed who's starting to get terrified, but they didn't. They fucked it.
Yeah, like they could have had like the fire, her in her bedroom, like just a creepy story. Like, it just would have been better.
Yeah.
And just with the credits overlaid.
Yeah.
Yeah, just coming out with her like, looking at, with a real child, not a fucking weird Betty Boop voice, which is clearly like, it's kind of like one of those boo-boo, those boo-boo voices that porn stars put on when they're making out to be children before they get fucked. I've written in my notes, oh my god, this is already a Jen special at this point.
Thank you for thinking of me.
And then like the music was this kind of like Christmassy kind of sounds, carol-y kind of music.
The
and
bells.
Stuff like. And now we do a hard cut. It's Jack. He's getting transported to his execution, and I've accidentally written exhibition in my notes.
I like the state executional transfer vehicle is just written in very large text on the truck.
This van is only used to take people for killing. Yeah. So he's got a van. There's there's a couple of cops in the front.
It's super low visibility. They're both like in this little crack in the window. Like, it's really, you just can't see shit out there, can you? No.
And straight away, we are now showing the level of acting in this film. This is fucking...
It's top quality.
Oh my god, these dudes are like, it's like, I don't know. It's like someone took a shit on the script and they had to like somehow push the shit aside and read it. It's fucked. And now these two cops, they're just talking dialogue, which it doesn't matter.
No, it doesn't matter. None of it matters. And we are introduced to Jack. He's sitting in the back of this truck. He's looking all menacing, and he sounds like a 1930s gangster. So there's like another guard in the back of the truck lighting a cigarette, and he's like, "Hey, buddy, do you got a cigarette?"
Yeah, and the Jack at this point, he looks like old Trey Parker.
Yes, a little bit.
If you just want to imagine what Jack looks like as a human, it's old Trey Parker.
I like that, yeah.
And now, for some reason, somehow Jack does something. He gets out somehow. Like, you don't really know how. This film doesn't show anything.
No.
Like, at the point when you're just like, this is what a horror movie its bread and butter would come out. This film just never shows it.
No, they butter the bread, but then they drop it on the ground.
Upside down. They Murphy Lord the motherfucker out of this film.
So essentially what happens is they're bitching on about some backwater cop who took Jack down. Jack's in the back with him. He's now killed this guard, stolen his cigarettes. And as this is all happening, a genetic research truck, not paying attention to driving, also in low visibility, smashes into this execution delivery service truck. And the acidic solution...
Followed by the worst crash scene I have ever seen in my life. So it cuts to like just close-ups where they've just put the camera on a thing and spun it around.
Yep.
And then you just see people like acting like, whoa! like the truck's rolling,
Yeah.
but it's just the camera turning around, but nothing around the background is moving or anything. And I'm like, and it just keeps going.
Yeah.
It just keeps going. It shows every character just going, whoa.
Yeah, it's perfection.
It's not perfection.
So basically what happens then is the acidic solution of this truck, it catches fire, it starts to overheat. One of the cops gets out, finds Jack has somehow flown out of the back of the truck and is out of his handcuffs because of course he is.
Yeah, because we all know that handcuffs dissolve in snow.
Yes. Then all of a sudden the genetics truck explodes and he just gets just Jack alone, no one else standing right next to him.
Yeah.
He just gets this face full of fucking acid.
It's like, no, it's just like water at first. So it's very a la Terminator 2 with like the liquid nitrogen.
Yeah.
But like, it's like this truck explodes and it shows Jack and then someone just fired a hose at his face.
Yeah.
I'm just like water into his face. Anyhow, this is probably the best bit in the whole film.
Yeah, I was going to say, how did you not like this bit? Like, he starts to melt.
Yeah, he starts to melt. And we kind of like see Jack going like, whoa, his face is like kind of bubbling. We cut to the cop who's like looking at him. And then it just keeps cutting back and forward. And each time it cuts back to Jack, it's just another, like, they've just like said, okay, let's do the next level of melting. And then like it cuts back. And then all of a sudden he's a skeleton.
Yeah.
And then it cuts back from being a skeleton. And then he's just a pile of blood on the snow.
Yeah, but then we get this really terrible sort of CG created molecular scale. We see his genetics.
We see him completely melt into
fusing.
the and we cut to like
fusing with the
an
snow.
animation, which looks like on the level of animation that they used in like the thing.
Yeah.
You know, when he's in his like cabin and he's like it's got dit. Yeah. So we just have to believe that there's some sweet CG happening.
Yeah, they've got the money for this, for sure.
And at this point, I was interested.
Yeah.
At this point, I'm like, you got me. Yeah,
Yep.
I'm listening.
Mm-hmm.
I'm listening now. You've done a melting person. Don't let this be your high point.
Oh, dear.
But then we see the snow. It starts to move around like it's alive. And at this point, I'm like, that's not snow. And I realize that there's no snow in this scene. It's just like a white kind of, you know, that fluffy blanket stuff?
It's the fake snow that you put around your Christmas tree in the 80s.
It's all you stuffed teddy bears with, that white stuff.
Yeah.
And then with some spray on snow on top of that. But anyhow, it's writhing and we're willing to believe, okay, the snow is turning into fucking... Well, we know what it is. Like, I don't know why this film like tries to hide anything when the thing is on the cover.
Yeah, you kind of got to lean into it.
It really doesn't show the snowman till like an hour into this film, like properly.
Yeah, it's pretty true.
Like we know, we got it because
it's on the fucking cover.
It's a killer snowman.
I picked up this cover and I got this film based on a killer snowman.
Anyhow, we cut to a couple driving a car. This is fucking. I just called him the sheriff.
Yeah, same.
The sheriff and his wife and his kid.
I didn't even notice the fucking kid in the back seat in this scene.
Yeah, you didn't. He was like laying down, or he wasn't on set that day. Anyhow, with the cops driving, and he's a bit, fuck. Jack's gonna get executed this week. You know, I was the one who caught him. We get a sweet flashback.
We do. It's terrible.
Would you like to?
Well, it's just like we cut to him pulling over this guy on the side of the road. It's clearly Jack.
It's clearly Trey Parker.
And he's just like, no, don't go to your car. Hands down. You've killed all these people. Flash forward to like basically the courtroom scene.
Yeah.
And it's just all of these cameras in his face. It's like, I'm gonna get you. One way or another, I'm gonna get you.
Yeah, he swears. So Jack swears revenge on the sheriff.
Yeah.
And the sheriff is like, he's gonna come and get me. I don't know. Like, how long has it been?
Like a week. I don't know.
It
doesn't matter.
And we cut back, and there's also a kid in the car.
Yeah, now there's a fucking kid in the car. I'm like, where did that kid come from?
And that's it. And the wife is just like, don't worry about it. And then we cut to the next morning, and the family there, the sheriff, and the sound in this scene was so bad. It was like they were shooting it from across the street. Like, it was so low and, roomy. Like, it sounded like they were just doing a giant amphitheater.
Yeah.
And I thought, oh my God. And it's just like, and it's just a thing of them being a family in the morning.
Yeah. So they're sitting there, and you can hear on the radio that there was like the accident on the way to the execution, and they're still trying to find out what's happened to everyone in the accident. So he could be loose, he might not be. It's fine. And the kid's there. He's making like oatmeal for his dad.
Yeah, he's like, I'm gonna make you breakfast, Dad. He's
I'm
made like
making you-
marshmallow and chocolate oatmeal. It's
just
gross.
so gross.
The dad, like, out of niceness, goes, "I'll just put this in a Ziploc bag and eat it for lunch." And so yeah,
Dad.
yeah, it's a small town. He goes to work. We see the town. It's very much the town like in Critters or those films. You know, like
it's very much so. And they're
small country town in winter. Oh, hang on. Is it winter? No.
We just don't know.
This whole movie is set at Christmas time in a small town, and it is clearly not shot at Christmas time because there is no actual snow. The whole film has fake snow everywhere. So to the point where all the windows just have that spray paint snow on them, and you can see it because you can see the lines of the spray paint. When he rocks up at his like police station, the sheriff, gets out the car, walks into the police office thing, and you see the snow blanket get caught on his foot as he's walking in and flop up and come back down. This whole film, they probably used their whole budget on fake snow.
Yeah.
Like every part, and I'm like, oh my God, why not just save all your budget and film when it's snowing?
I don't. Maybe they had time
I've
constraints.
never seen anything so stupid in my life to set a... Like, shit.
Oh, I love this. This is fantastic.
But like, so this is just the start of the fuckery of this.
Oh, yeah, this is like maybe the first 10 minutes of the film.
Yeah, like...
You're loving it.
And then we get to like... So yeah, he stops off before he goes to his site. I skipped a bit. He stops off in the town. There's like a snowman building contest. But the problem is there's no snow anywhere. Just in the scenes that they are. And you can see the background. There's no snow.
There's nothing there. And we're very briefly introduced in this scene to a family. So it's like a father, the wife, the son, Billy, and Shannon Elizabeth before American Pie and 13 Ghosts.
And Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back.
Yes. And it's all just a bunch of mundane chit-chat with the town people. So we're sort of introducing them, but not really introducing them because...
And her character is appalling.
Oh, yeah.
She's like a woman. She's probably the only girl in this film. And whoever wrote the girl character in this film should be fucking drawn and quartered. All she does is just be a fucking vacuous flirt, like a sex-driven teen that can only see, like, and whenever boys come up to her, she like does sexy poses, and I'm like, who the fuck wrote this? Like,
Michael Cooney
all
wrote
she wants
this.
to do is fuck Tommy.
Yeah. Oh.
Who is Michael Cooney?
I don't know. No one knows. It's fine.
Anyhow, she flirts with Tommy. He wants to build a snowman. She wants to fucking... He doesn't want to for some reason.
Yeah, he's manhandling his snowman titties that he's thought was brilliant.
Which is clearly not snow. It's like a mannequin that they've covered in like a blanket. It's so bad. Anyhow, that's it.
That is it. We cut to the sheriff's department. We're introduced to a new character, Marla, who is such a shit, and I love her so much.
What is her job? Is it a secretary of the police?
I think she's a secretary.
Secretary?
Yeah.
Or what are they called?
Administrative assistant.
Yeah, she's like she does the phone. She's that lady in all these films that calls the sheriff. Hey Marv, we got a lady here that says this. Like I'll be right there. Like one of those ladies.
She's that gal.
She's that girl. She's the radio lady.
She is, and she's sassy, and I love her.
She's got like curly hair. She's like all about the hairspray. She's like she wants to go out and date the men. She's kind of young. I think she's supposed to be the sexy chick in the movie, but. To me, she's just mum status.
Yeah, she's got the mum sweater, the mum hair. But hey, in that small town, she might be the sex symbol. Who knows?
Oh, sickness. Anyhow.
She lets the sheriff know that somebody died.
Oh, shit. So they cut to the sheriff and a couple of deputies, and they're rocked up, and there's an old man frozen in a rocking chair out the front of his house.
Yeah, old man Harper.
And the cops suspect foul play. And I wrote here, but why?
Well, because they're like, there's no tracks, no sign of struggle, no blood. But I have a hunch.
Yeah, but it's just a dude frozen in a wheel. It looks like an old man who fell asleep in his wheelchair and then froze to death.
Yeah.
Which is all it looks like.
Yeah.
But they're all like clearly this is foul play.
This is
Not that
clearly
there
the
is
MO of Jack Frost.
Yeah, I've got a feeling this is Jack Frost. Yeah.
So he calls up the FBI, and the FBI, we're introduced to
Oh my God.
one of the worst Bond villains of all time. He's in like a black turtleneck with his little gun holsters around him, and he's basically like, nah, he's dead. Fuck off.
Yeah, because the sheriff he's worried that Jack didn't
Yeah.
get executed, and he's like, I can assure you, Jack is gone. And it's just like, what?
Is he? What's happening?
This FBI guy may be the worst actor that has ever been created. Like,
But his beard is perfectly manicured.
it is true.
Did you notice how manicured his beard was?
Yeah, he just looked. So if you can imagine him, he just doesn't. He's like he's reading lines off of a cue card. Like he doesn't have any emotion. He's supposed to be, I think, a cold hard killer or something, but it just comes off as being fucking weird. Anyhow, what happens next?
So the FBI guy, he hangs up the phone and he's talking to another guy in the room. He's like a scientist.
I called him the scientist. Yeah.
Yeah.
So these are the only other two characters in the film now.
Pretty much. And he's basically like, oh, it's fine. It's not been tested. It's like, we should have tested it on something else before we poured it all over Jack. So we're under the assumption that this is now an FBI-based test that they've put Jack in to see what's going to happen.
Yeah, no, but
the whole thing was orchestrated.
No, but the crash wasn't orchestrated. I got out of it. Is that they were going to test it, and then this crash happened, and then they're like, well, this is a great field test.
Yep.
It's just unfortunate that it was the world's worst serial killer that it got on. So the government is basically, it's a government experiment gone wrong.
Yep.
Because you know that there's government experiments like that.
All the time.
Exactly.
Yeah. So we cut back to Old Man Harper's house, and one of the cops is
which is the dead guy in the rocking chair.
One of the doctors, the local doctor, is examining him, and
I called
he's
him
like
the coroner, but yeah, he's probably just the doctor.
He's just like some guy. He's the local GP. He's like having a good old look, and he's like, I can see that the second and third vertebrae have been snapped, but snapped not in a way that it would just be like as if someone had put a mitten over his head and snapped it back.
But no man has the
no
strength.
man has mittens or strength.
No man has mittens. Anyhow, could it be Jack Frost that did this? Who knows?
Who knows? Nobody knows. This film's a mystery.
Anyhow, we cut back to the mum, the sheriff mum and sheriff's kid, and all of a sudden, someone has built a snowman on their front yard, but it doesn't have a face.
Oh.
Fuck.
What the fuck?
And the mum's like, someone built a snowman on our front yard. Why don't you go give it a face or some shit? Kid goes out there. He's got a rock. he goes up to this weird snowman that had appeared in the day in their very snowless front yard. And he sticks a rock in it for its eyes. He sticks a carrot for its nose. And he molds out a mouth, which I don't know why he just wouldn't have done the traditional. And the kid has to like look at a book to see how to build a snowman face.
Snowman for dummies.
Yeah, basically. Anyhow, he's just finished off his masterpiece. Like, yeah, sick, this looks great. And then all of a sudden, boom, 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 the badass sled kids rock up.
Oh, not the fucking badass sled kids.
So 3 teenagers with badass sleds that are like, hey, fuckface, we got a fucking sled through there. Get out of the way.
He's like, this is my parents' front lawn. He's like, we're sledding here. Shut up.
Yeah, so worst excuse for badass teens ever. Anyway, out of the, like, secretly, somehow, the snowman we see a snowman arm wallop the kid, the main instigator.
The bully.
It sends him flying backwards onto the ground. At the very moment, one of his mates is somehow just sledding past, and bam!
Decapitated.
Decapitation?
So all we see is this mannequin head just kind of go flying off because, if you're
and this is
sledding in a very small location where there's not a lot of run up, not a lot of speed, you're definitely gonna fucking slice the head off of some kid.
Yeah, like the dude he probably had a meter run up and then just somehow it sliced the head off of it. It doesn't make any sense because like if you look at it even on the angle, it looks like it would just get donked in the head.
Yeah.
Anyhow, we see it's terrible. It doesn't even look good. You don't see anybody. You don't see any heads coming off. You don't see anything. You don't see any body afterwards. You don't see anything, which this film is
We just get to see that head being thrown.
This film is a bloody Cenobite. It promises forever and never delivers. And we cut to, like, you know, after the cops are all there, the town's there, the kids.
The parents are there. Like, the kids' parents are there. And they don't, like, the dad doesn't seem upset. He seems so, like, more angry and very put out by the fact that his son's been decapitated.
But this kid is, like, 8. Like, he's a small child. Like, and they're like, the town's all there, and they're like, this kid's the murderer. He's the one that murdered the guy in the wheelchair, and in the rocking chair, and now he's murdered this guy. I'm like, how did a kid murder anyone?
Where did we pull that from?
Where did you jump from that, like, conclusion? And I didn't think anyone knew about the rocking chair guy.
No, because they were going to keep it quiet because they didn't want a pandemonium on their hands of, like, town justice mentality. I don't know.
Yeah, it's a Simpsons mob mentality.
Yeah, pretty much.
Anyhow, he goes, everyone fuck off home. And everyone fucks off. And then we cut to Sheriff is now worried. He's like, this seems like... None of these events would ever make you think that Jack is still alive.
No. A kid being decapitated by another kid on a sled.
Yeah, it's just like, it's an accident.
Doesn't really ring serial killer to me.
And it was done in front of someone. You know, no Jack was there.
No.
The kid is convinced he saw the snowman do it. He's like, the snowman did it.
Yeah.
And everyone's like, snowmans don't kill people.
No. People kill people.
So the sheriff is now angsty going, maybe I should look through the letters Jack sent me from prison.
So he's kept all of the letters, the hate mail, the death threats that this guy has sent him from prison over the week, year,
I think it's
whatever.
supposed to be like 6 months.
Probably. It's been a small amount of
So
time.
they're written, this is what I loved about this film. So all the death threats are written in, you know, ransom style, where he got a letter from a magazine.
Yeah.
Like, I'm going to fucking kill you and all your family and get revenge on you. Signed, Jack Frost.
Yeah.
And I'm like, why didn't he just write them? Like,
But also,
why do you do ransom magazines if you're going to sign your name at the bottom?
It's wasting magazines, for one.
Right.
But B, like, if he signed his name, you're
What?
just going to take it to the federal fucking whatever and be like, here are all my death threats. And then they'll just keep him locked up longer.
Yeah, I know. And I'm like, oh my God, why did you sign your death threats? And you're like trying to, there's a bang at the door. And sheriff's like, what the fuck? He gets his gun out and shit. He's like, fuck, I gotta fucking Jack. It's clearly Jack Frost. He's right. He's dropping off another letter.
He's found me.
just dropping off a letter. But he opens the door, and it's just a general store owner with some salt.
Yeah, he's delivering some salt. This fuckhole, throughout the whole film, anytime he says anything, he's like, I'm going to give you 20% off.
Yeah. So
it's like his shtick. It's like, you want extra ammo? 20% off.
Yeah,
salt, 20% off.
He's
you
always
want my wife? 20% off.
Oh, shit. How does he make money? He's obviously got 40% markup.
I was going to say his margins must be pretty good.
Yeah, it's pretty good. And he's got some salt, and we're like, oh, fuck, thank God it's only the general store guy.
I know.
Then we cut to the family of the dead kid, as in the badass sled kid.
They're having another argument. Like, I don't really like this man. He seems like a bit of a shit.
Yeah, he's unreasonable. He's angry. He wants mob justice for whoever killed his son, and also his daughter is the promiscuous teen that we were talking about before. I can't remember her name, but
I just referred to her as Shannon Elizabeth the whole way through this fucking show.
Shannon Elizabeth.
Yeah. So he yells at her. She yells at him. She leaves for the night. And then he's just really mean to his wife, and I just didn't like that.
His wife is all about, she's kind of portrayed as the ditzy kind of like the lady, Mrs. Futterman from the Gremlins. She's just like all about Christmas and is just like a bit ditzy, doesn't want to like be in reality because she's got a fucking
because her husband probably beats her every day.
Yeah, and shit like that. Anyhow, Dad gets angry. He goes out, I'm going to fucking go smoke a pipe out on the back lawn, out the back.
Yeah.
He goes out and like...
doesn't quite notice that the giant snowman sitting there watching him. But, he lights his pipe and then someone or something asks him for a smoke.
Yeah, a voice is taunting him. Hey, buddy.
You got to smoke?
You got to smoke. As you said before, this movie is screaming that, like, to try and do a Chucky vibe.
Yeah.
Like, he's like...
Oh, yeah.
Because he's like basically a serial killer inside of a doll or a serial killer inside of a snowman. And he's got all the quips.
There are so many quips through this, and the voice, he's very much trying to be...
Chucky.
He's trying to be Brad Dourif for sure, yeah.
Yeah, and he's taunting him, and he's like, what the fuck, where are you? Where are you? Are you behind that snowman? The only thing in the shot?
Yeah, so he grabs his axe, and he starts to sort of walk around as if someone might be around the other side of the snowman.
Yeah, because you can't see around snowmen.
Because you can't just kick it over. It's fine.
And then, like, the snowman grabs him. Mm-hmm. Do we see the snowman very much? It's kind of like they're trying to keep
We're just seeing the hand.
Yeah.
So we're just seeing a snowman hand at this point, which is made out of, like, styrofoam.
Yeah, I know. No, everything I think was made out of that, like, white material that they stuff animals with,
It's
you know, that fluffy stuff.
Yeah.
And the hand grabs him, and then we just see him fall down, and suddenly he's got the axe rammed into his mouth, which is...
But it's the handle of the axe, not the axe. Wouldn't you fucking axe someone in the face?
Yeah.
Instead of shoving the whole thing down his throat.
But it's not even in his throat because it's the wrong angle, so therefore you're like, but I should be able to see the handle at the back of his head.
Yeah.
But there is no hand, and, like, so it's just like a really budget kill, and, like, I'm like, oh my God, is this the kill? Like, it's like they've been making the kills up on the day and they don't care if they're violent.
Yeah.
Because, like, this is like, you got an axe and you didn't use the axe to any means. And, like, all we see is just, like, so they've just cut the handle of the axe off and put it in his mouth and he's just falling down. And I'm like, that's it?
Yeah.
I'm like, is this the caliber of kills we're going to get?
Yeah.
The answer is fucking yes. Fucking...
So inside, the wife, she's huffing because she's come back from making a nice cup of tea and she sees puddles on the floor. But she's like, oh, I can't be mad about that. So she sits down and we see her sit down and Jack's standing behind her. We're like, oh, so he's the puddle lever on the floor. Sure.
Well, I thought that straight away. As in, like, he's like, you know, drips a bit of snow.
Yeah. Why wouldn't you?
But he can, like, but then they just kind of they're trying to give the vibe that he can do, like, a Jason. Like, you know, just appear wherever he wants.
Yeah.
Kind of thing, which is just, I suppose that gets you around having to work out however he gets anywhere.
Yeah. So the Christmas lights, they flicker on and she's very excited because she wanted them on before, but he was adamant that he didn't want it because it's disrespectful to the son that's just died. How can we celebrate? So she's happy and then they flicker off.
And yeah.
She goes to investigate because why wouldn't you? And of course, she goes to pick up the cord's out of the plug hole. And Jack is standing behind her and he starts to strangle her with the Christmas lights. He basically, like, this scene is great.
Yeah, this was great. Funny.
So he's like wraps all these Christmas lights around her. Then he shoves like a Christmas bauble in her mouth and then just smashes her head repetitively into a box of Christmas baubles.
But, like, when it shows it smashing in, it's clearly just a dummy in a wig.
Yes.
Because there is no weight to it whatsoever.
No.
And then they keep showing her face coming up when she's got more baubles.
She's got like the baubles
like, okay,
stuck
this
in her
was
face.
kind of okay. This was the best kill, I reckon.
Yeah, well, because...
But it's still pretty shit.
All she ever, like, earlier in the film, all she ever said was she wanted to be the angel on the top of the Christmas tree. He's turned her into the Christmas tree.
He kind of he crucifies her onto the tree.
He does. But, so this scene, if this was done in another film, this could have been done really well. So I think, what throws this film out, like, this scene out, is the fact that they use SpongeBob-esque sort of guitar music. Like...
Yeah.
It was just very relaxing music.
It was kind of like trying to make it funny.
Yeah.
Like, it's kind of like that. They were kind of trying to go for the Gremlins music again. Like,
Yeah, they could
which
have
is kind
made
of like a
this funny.
Christmas carol. That's what I liked about the Gremlins. It's
Yeah.
kind of like a demented Christmas carol.
Yeah.
But they didn't do it.
They could have made, like, this scene I thought was funny. I laughed. It was great. But also I was sort of
But it
disappointed.
looks like we could have done it.
Because it could have been either really, really good or just really funny but without the shitty music.
Suppose we need films like this so we can go, I can do better than that, and then we go make a film.
And it's not better than that.
I would be. My film would be great if I could be bothered doing it.
Yeah, who has time?
Me.
Yeah.
I don't.
You don't. But then, of course, the general store delivery man, he rocks up for some reason. I think
he's deliver salt.
He's delivering their 20% off salt. He sees what's happened.
He sees Jack.
He kind of just like, and he just drops his salt and he runs.
So he sees Jack, though.
He does.
He's witnessing.
He knows what's happening. But rather than getting into his car, he runs off down the road.
He's gone mad. He can't handle what he's seen.
He's like, oh, I don't have any petrol because all that 20% off, I don't have any petrol money.
Oh, yeah. So then we cut to the FBI guy. Fucking old turtleneck McFuckface. He's rocked up in the town now.
Yeah, he has, yeah.
He's at the sheriff's office. Him and the sheriff have a back and forth. And he basically takes the case out of the sheriff's hands. He's like, this is our case now, motherfucker.
It's my jurisdiction.
And he's like, I'm going to lock down the town.
We need a task force. We're going to lock down the town. We need to find Shannon Elizabeth.
We do. So the sheriff calls a town meeting. He's like, we're going to call a town meeting.
We are also now told by the scientist that Jack can freeze and unfreeze at will.
Yep.
So this comes into play quite a lot in the following scenes, guys.
Which
so
I
just,
thought was a kind of a cool vibe.
Yeah.
Like, I was like, this is good. Like the idea of something being able to turn into water and then freeze again. I'm like, oh, there's so many cures you could do. Like, because there's water in you.
Yeah.
And, like, they never take advantage of any of the cool kills that they could have done with this concept.
There was one scene, and it's coming up, that I thought, oh, they're going to do this. But
they didn't.
They didn't.
We'll yell out when it comes up.
I'll yell out.
Anyway, we called a town meeting. And then as they're doing their town meeting, the general store guy rocks up and he's like, it's a snowman! I'm a madman now. He's just gone mad.
Yeah.
He can't handle what he's seen. And
No
the
one
FBI
can.
guy just punches him out because he's letting the cat out of the bag. He's saying too many secrets that people shouldn't know. So the FBI guy punches him out and everyone's like, bit harsh.
So what'd you do that for?
Yeah,
Sheriff sends one of the other deputies out to
Look for clues.
to the crime scene to look for clues. But on his way,
he senses there's been another murder and he just sends the deputy over to look for shit?
yeah, that's fine. But he's stopped in the middle of the road by a snowman holding a stop sign.
Yeah. Oh,
He's like, this isn't right. I'm going to go to the trunk and get my shovel. And as he gets to the trunk, he comes back and notices that the snowman's gone. There's just a puddle on the ground.
I would just drive around it.
Yes.
Or into it. It's just fucking snowman.
It's snow.
Yeah.
So he goes to put the shovel back into the boot, but Jack is now in the car. He turns it on, he reverses over the cop, and he drives off.
And this is like another pathetic kill because we don't even see a body or anything. All we see is like just a shot of suddenly Jack in the driver's seat and him and the car reversing out of shot and a little bump. Mm-hmm. And it's like, did he run over him?
Yep.
Did he kill him? Is that a kill?
Don't know.
Exactly.
Who knows?
Fucking pathetic, you pieces of shits. That's fucked.
Back at the house, the sheriff's wife is there, and she's getting more blankets. She's looking around. It's looking a bit sus. There's like something walking around the window. We think there's something there with her. And then water just starts pouring from under the sink.
Water is now the enemy in this
Yeah,
film.
water is the enemy, guys. But okay, it's fine because it's just a different cop.
Yeah, because the cop car rocks up and we're like, oh, it's
Jack.
clearly Jack, and now he's in the house because
Yeah.
there's water. But no, it's just the dopey sheriff. Instead of him going to check if his wife was okay, he
sent the deputy.
He sends the deputy, and the deputy, because the sink under the sink has exploded the pipes. He gets in there. He's all wet. His hat's all wet, and this is a bit where you thought it could have been cool.
No.
Right. See, at this point, I thought it was going to be cool because, like, his hat, he puts his wet hat on and shows that I thought this icicles were just going to pierce him through the head.
That would have been great as well.
And anything like that. But no, it's not. Do you know what it is? In the end, isn't it just a burst pipe?
It's just a burst pipe. It's not even Jack. It's fine. So, you know, he takes the wife back. He's like, we've got to go back now. Like, it's fine. And they just leave.
And follows now the stupidest scene in the entire film. The teens, as in, what's her name?
Shannon Elizabeth and her boyfriend.
Tommy, break into the sheriff's house.
Yes.
For no reason.
No.
And then they're like, but this is the sheriff's house. She goes, yeah. And then she just, like, blatantly just, like, sluts onto him.
Yeah. And then
I don't like to use the word slut, but I can't think of any other vision the writer would have had when writing her character. It's like he just thinks, is this how women he thinks act?
Yeah.
When
or he wants to act. I don't know. But they start making fuck eyes at each other, and then they start to strip. And which is
and this is just the kitchen, and it's all wet and cold.
This scene is a little funny because it's like, you know, in all these films where they're just like, they just want to fuck so bad, they just got to take their clothes off. But it's the middle of winter. So they've got jackets, jumpers, skivvies, long johns, all these fucking layers of clothes.
But it's not the middle of winter.
No, it's not. They basically get down to their skivvies or whatever it is that they're wearing.
And then she's like,
oh, you want to go? Well, first, and she's basically just starts laying all like, I want a log fire, I want wine.
Champagne. But I'm like, but you're in someone else's house.
Yeah.
Why did you go here? Why would you go to the sheriff's house?
Yeah, you're teenagers. Go fuck in a car park.
But why the...
I don't know.
You know, she goes upstairs and starts blow drying her hair.
Yes.
And I'm like, why?
Yep. So she's just randomly upstairs in someone else's house using their blow dryer.
But there's no fucking reason for any of this shit to happen. It doesn't make any sense. And I was like, huh? Anyway, the boy...
So Tommy starts setting up. So he goes to
He gets a bottle of champagne. He opens a bottle of champagne, pours the champagne, and goes, oh, fuck, I need ice. I mean, who the fuck has ice in champagne?
No one. No one.
So he starts...
But this is where I thought, okay, because he goes to the freezer and he starts like ice picking the ice out, but because in the freezer there's like the carrots, so you just think, oh fuck, Jack's in there. He's just taking a bit of Jack, he's putting it in the wine, he's gonna drink the wine, we're gonna get this like really cool chest bursting explosion. No. That would have been the coolest thing.
This did not happen. Anyhow, like what so anyhow, he's making his drinks, and suddenly like something like it's almost like a sniper shot goes through the window, and he ducks and covers, and he's like, oh fuck, that's right, I'm in the sheriff's house, and the sheriff is shooting at me because he thinks I'm a burglar. What? Anyhow,
no, it's a snowball.
The team then grabs an ice pick for a weapon. I'm like, what are you gonna do? Kill the sheriff?
Yeah.
Like, none of this makes sense. No. It's like they're making this... It's like they've just smoked all the meth and just gone, you know, it'd be fucking cool, this scene. And then they shot it. And then someone the next, 3 weeks later, smoked all the rest of the meth and edited the fucking film. Like, oh my God. Anyhow, so...
The greatest meth movie of all time.
Yeah, Method Man. Anyhow, I've lost what I was talking about now.
That's fine. So he goes to open the door, and Jack basically just punches him in the face. Then Tommy attacks him with the ice pick.
This is our first reveal of Jack as well. We finally see him in the doorway in his true, his whole
snowman form.
All of him in one shot, and he says a one-liner. I can't remember what it was. Yeah. He's like, fucking... Nice to meet you. Shit like that. Yeah.
He's pulling out some fucking...
There's only ice puns.
Yeah, ice puns. I love an ice pun. I love puns. So they start having a bit of a tussle, and
I thought the ice pick was a good weapon. I thought that was going to be his weakness because it's a weapon used to hurt ice.
For ice.
But it's not.
It's not. No, it's all right. But Jack now can, for some reason, start shooting icicles.
Yeah.
So he can start shooting icicles out of his body. He hits the boyfriend
in the shoulder.
Pins him against the wall.
Pins him against the door.
Oh, the door. I apologize.
This is kind of like the most amount of gore we see. We kind of get that shot of like it kind of going at him, and then we see the back of the door and the icicle coming through the door with blood on it. Right? It's okay, but then like cuts back to him. You can just clearly see it's not through. Yeah. It's just moving around there.
That's fine, because then we get this...
But still no actual gore.
No. Well, we get this last sequence where he's been iced in the head.
But we don't see it.
We don't see it. But then the icicle comes out.
We see the ice... Yeah, it doesn't make any sense,
no.
We see the icicle flying through the air. Then we kind of see a shot of his face. Then we see the back of the door with the icicle coming through. But then we kind of see it moving around for a while and coming back out. But then he's still... I don't understand.
But we get that cool little sequence of the brain. Did you notice that?
Yeah, the brain coming through the door.
It was like pulsating through the door.
But that doesn't make sense because that means the icicle's been pulled out.
Yeah.
But it hadn't.
No.
Yeah.
Don't ask too many
Still no
questions.
actual gore. Doesn't make any sense. Good one, meth idiots. Meth editors.
I mean, you want to talk about things not making sense.
Okay, we got to remember as well, we're still in... You're breaking and entering.
Yeah.
You've blow dried your hair. What's your next logical thing you do when you're breaking into someone else's house?
Well, see, Shannon Elizabeth, she finishes blow drying her hair and notices that there is a bathtub that's been drawn. So it's a full bathtub, ready to get in, have
she's like,
so
awesome.
What do you do after you've spent 10 minutes fucking blow drying your hair? You get in the bath.
She gets in the bath.
You wet your fucking hair.
She's gone to someone else's house, broken in, and having a bath.
She's had...
Anyhow, this is supposed to be the sexy scene of seeing a young girl naked. I'm pretty sure she's underage in this movie.
She's 19.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And this was before the boob job too.
Oh, she have a boob job?
Yes.
I don't know.
You've seen her titties?
No.
You've seen American Pie, right?
No.
You've seen...
Did it show her boobs in it?
Yeah. I think they show everything in it.
Oh, wow.
She also gets her titties out in 13 Ghosts. We watched that recently.
Did she?
Yeah.
All right. Anyhow. Yeah, right.
So she's in the bath. She's getting her hair wet. And this carrot pops up.
And they were trying to do, I assume they were doing Nightmare on Elm Street.
Yeah.
Like the glove coming up in the bath of her. It looks shit.
Yeah.
It looks shit. Anyhow, the water freezes, instant freeze, and we see it, but it shows it from the top, and it's clearly not frozen. It says they've sprinkled white.
I feel that they just got a beanbag and emptied it.
Into the water. And then we get what may be the worst scene in known history in any fucking film, a rape scene. Suddenly he has formed around her, and he has no carrot on his face because we saw it before, it was between her legs. And now we get a rape scene of her getting raped by Jack to fun Christmas music. And at the end, she just suddenly dies, falls to the ground, and he pulls out the line, looks like Christmas came early this year. And I'm like, oh, shit.
Yes. This scene was not actually intended to be a rape scene. It just so happened that
it looks like a rape.
Looks like a rape scene, and because the carrot was missing, they just did some overdubs of some voices and some sounds,
and made it into. They
chose to turn this into a rape scene because they assumed it was going to look too much like a rape scene.
So the whole joke is rape to fun music.
Yeah,
look at it.
Sure.
Look, it's fine if you get raped. If you're getting raped by a comical character, it's fine then. Like, like if a snowman, if you get raped by Father Christmas or the Easter Bunny, it's fine. It's fine to put that in a film and laugh at it. And if it's happening to a woman, it's twice as funny.
Oh, well, yeah, because sexual assault is hilarious.
I know. Anyhow, she just dies from the experience.
Yep.
There's no explanation. She just falls down and she's dead.
Yep. Done. Dead.
No reason. Dead. No violence as well. I'm glad I didn't see violence in a rape scene, but
no.
There could have been so many cool ways they could have killed her in this one.
Yeah, it didn't need to be rapey.
I thought there was going to be someone at least get frozen and shattered.
Yeah, that would have been good.
Because he can
turn. Well, they clearly didn't have the budget for that.
Like, he can be water and then turn to ice. Like, if someone's saturated in him and then he freezes them and then shatters them, like, like Jason X style. Like,
yeah.
Like, so many opportunities for good kills with the idea of water that can go frozen and vice versa and stuff. Oh, they did none.
No.
And it cut to the fucking sheriff and fucking turtleneck FBI fuckface.
They let loose that there is a storm moving in, which means nothing is getting in or out of the town. So they're in lockdown.
It's because the FBI agent, and they all laugh at him like, no one can get out of the town when there's a storm.
Yeah, they're like, because it's like I've got the National Guard, I've got the fucking army, everybody's coming in. They're like, nah, there's a storm coming, mate. Ain't nobody getting in.
Nobody getting in and out. Okay, we're trapped. Fine, we get it. The FBI, the sheriff is still angry because the FBI agent man won't tell him what's going on, and he clearly knows there's something going on. They all go outside.
Yeah, so this cop car rocks up, but there's no cops in it. There's nothing in it. No one there. And then all of a sudden, Jack attacks Marla, and she's all sassy and shit. I don't even know what she says. Who knows? I don't remember.
I just wrote that Jack just suddenly pops up in front of everyone.
Yeah, he does.
He's not trying to hide it anymore. He's like, hey, motherfuckers.
He's like, I'm here now.
The FBI guy shoots Jack, but it does nothing. So this is just outside of like the town hall, outside of the police station. They've rocked down to the street, and suddenly Jack's just there. And so everyone's seen him now.
Yeah.
Everyone's like, oh my God, the boy was right. A snowman is getting everybody.
Yeah,
and the crazy guy that we've got locked up that they never let
That they forget about.
Yeah.
So they all take refuge
everyone just runs away.
The sheriff's office. Yeah, most everyone runs away, and then the main people run into the sheriff's office.
But why would you be afraid of a snowman? They're instantly all terrified.
They don't.
Bullets don't work. Well, this is America. If bullets don't work, we don't know how to deal with anything.
Wow, yeah.
Anyway, everyone runs away. Apart from these dickheads.
It's true. So they've all run into the cop shop. They're barricading everything up.
Yeah, so we have the sheriff, the FBI agent, the scientist, and the cop, and and Marla, the cop lady, whatever she is, the security secretary.
Yeah. So the water starts pouring in. So as we know, Jack can melt. So water starts pouring in under the door and in between the little door slats.
And I love how they do this because it's not pouring in. All we see is the water, and you can clearly see it's just a hose moving back and forward.
With a bright light.
With a bright light. There's always a bright light behind it as well. And now Jack reforms, and we don't see that. He just kind of like floats. He just pans up from the bottom of the shot, and he does the thing. That's how he melts and remelts. But luckily, the sheriff has a hairdryer on him.
Yep, because Marla's been sitting at her desk, blow drying and styling her hair.
It's kind of one of those things where they're like, if he can freeze, what could hurt him? What hurts ice? They actually say that?
Yeah.
What hurts ice? Fire.
Yeah.
Hot. Okay. It's one of those kind of things. She's like, oh my God, fucking hell.
I love
and
it.
Yeah,
he attacks him with the hairdryer, and it's one of those scenes where he's just like, oh no, heat, it's too hot.
Yeah, you're kind of like going back.
But then the cord comes out.
Oh no, the sheriff had no idea.
It's his one weakness, electricity.
His one weakness is the distance between him and he just basically runs with the hairdryer until it just gets unplugged.
Yeah.
And he's like, who?
Ooh.
Oh dear, what fucking idiot.
So then he just fucking bails.
And then the group, so they run and they lock themselves kind of in like behind like a steel door, which is like the holding cell part of it. And then I didn't quite get this. They just start setting off a whole bunch of bug bombs.
Yeah, so what they figure out is like if fire hurts him, we can blow him up. So they go off and for some reason there's a whole heap of aerosol cans. And I'm guessing it's just her spray hair that she just keeps on site.
Well, no, it had a poison with a bug on the side. It's like a bug bomb.
I just said aerosol. I don't know. But they decide that they're going to set off all of this gas. They're going to climb out the window to freedom and then they're just going to fucking blow him up.
Blow up the thing. So, anyhow, Jack starts like water starts coming under the door and the sheriff tries to block it off or some shit. Is that happening in this scene? Oh,
yeah.
He starts slowly coming through the door.
But he kind of forgets that, we need the key to unlock the window. Where's the key? In the door. I best go back.
And he does the slowest ever trying to grab a key out of a door while trying to avoid water, which you don't have to. I think, have they mentioned yet...
They haven't mentioned that he can't hurt you if he's in water form.
Okay.
But I think that they're under the impression that they just got to stay away from the water.
Yeah.
So he's just doing like a reach. He's just reaching.
And yeah, it's a really it's one of those scenes where they're trying to create tension, but it's one of those scenes where you think you could just grab it and walk off. Like, there's no reason to be slow.
It's not like he's going, like, the key is in the door.
There's nothing holding him back.
No, the key is in the door. It's not like he's fumbling through this ring of keys.
He's just stopped like 3 foot back and he's stretching, just trying to get to the keys.
He's like, my bursitis, I can't reach that far.
And he just grabs the keys and gets them eventually. And then he unlocks and lets out the general store guy who's been in the holding cell. They all climb out of the window.
Yeah.
It's a little window.
That's very lucky. I mean, Jack, he's pretty much through now, and he's kind of gaining on them as they escape out the window, and then they just kind of like shoot at it and blow up the building.
FBI agent just shoots at the sheriff's office and it blows up.
Yeah.
And they're like, yeah, we did it.
And then at this point, you'd be so excited because you're like, fuck yeah, this movie's over. They've killed him.
I was excited at this point. But no. Jack just rocks up again. He just reforms. Like, there's not even any, like, like thing. He just, like, turns to water and reforms outside. Then we get the FBI man blatantly ripping off the thing and just going, you gotta be fucking shitting me. Mm-hmm. You got it. Yeah, in the scene in the thing when the head grows legs, they just basically tried to do that, but they did it so badly. I was like, dickheads.
And the science guy, he starts to explain in a very lengthy and wordy dialogue about the science behind Jack. So there's no idea how we can stop him. We do need to contain him, but also...
It's a chemical that copies DNA and bonds with other things, like snow. It's like a Ninja Turtle. It's like mutagen.
Yeah, pretty much.
It was a mutagen.
So he's just like, if we could get him in the furnace room, we could contain him in the furnace because the furnace is hot.
Meanwhile, while this is all happening, the whole town has run into the town hall for safety. Because, it's a snowman. Everyone's worst fear.
So they're all in this town hall, and then we get this giant snowball come crashing through into town hall where everyone is. And then this is a great scene as well. I love this scene.
Wait, there's a bit of tension. So, we hear like a... Yeah, and the town hall doors smash down, and it's just a giant snowball.
Yeah.
Rolls in really unthreateningly.
Yeah.
Everyone jumps out of the way, but then everyone...
This is fantastic, because one guy pops up with a hairdryer and then starts, like, blow-drying Jack, and Jack's like, oh, it's hot. But then people just pop up out of nowhere, and they also have hairdryers.
Everyone has a hairdryer in this scene.
And
there's like 8 people together in like a V unison, like a fighter jets, just with hairdryers.
And they've all got hairdryers, and you even get the cords on the ground with the little extension board running along
the power
as
board
well.
To show that it's not going to run out of cord.
No, they got They got the extension cord. They got it 20% off, so they're fine. They're doing all right. It's going to be great. Oh God.
And I've written here like what we just said, but and then I've written at least I think that's what's happening, because they never really show what's happening here.
No.
Because I missed they were going to put him into the furnace, even though they mentioned
really?
it like 10. I reckon I was just turned off.
Yeah, that's all right.
But I didn't know what was happening, because we see Jack walking back, right? And then all of a sudden he's just in the furnace. We never see the furnace, like in the shot. They never show it.
No.
So, and then all of a sudden he's in it. And I'm like, when did he get in there?
Yeah, they kind of like herded him down.
It's because they didn't know how to film it.
No, they herded him down the stairs, and they kind of just, well, now he's in the furnace.
Yeah, now he's in there. Anyway,
we iced him.
Anyhow, we see him in the furnace going, yeah! Everyone like, yeah!
Everybody rejoice.
And that's fine, let's go. Let's just leave.
And that's the second ending of the film. But is it?
So, yeah, and then that's all done. Everyone's like,
we did it.
Everyone, we did it.
He's dead.
He's fucking dead. And they're all really weirdly happy.
Yeah.
It's a weird vibe.
And then you're excited because you think the film's over again, but it's not.
Yeah, so anyway, everyone leaves, and then for some reason the FBI agent and the scientist go back down into the furnace room, and suddenly Jack is just not in the furnace.
No.
He is outside the furnace now, and he has big teeth.
But why is he outside of the furnace? How did he get outside of the furnace, Dan? Steam. He's now steam.
Is that what it was?
Yes.
But you couldn't
Did you not see all that steam coming out?
But even if he was outside of the furnace, he couldn't get out. A furnace don't let out steam.
Oh, apparently this one does.
Anyhow, he's back. He bites he opens his mouth now. Yeah, had big icicle teeth, which he didn't have before.
Yeah.
And I'm going to say, when we're seeing the snowman, it's just a fucking puppet.
Yes.
Like, it looks whack. It doesn't even look like snow.
Yeah.
It looks like rubber.
Yeah, it's not great.
It bites the FBI guy on the shoulder, and that just kills him.
Yeah.
He just falls down dead. I'm like, that's not a death.
No.
Anyhow, and then we see the scientist there going, I can help you. Don't kill me, Jack. Because he kind of like likes Jack because he's a scientist. You know, he likes the science of it.
Well, yeah, it's all about the science for this guy. So the sheriff, he decides that he also wants to go talk to the science guy about Jack. So as he goes in, he's met at the door.
Yeah, we're all outside now. The boy, his boy's in the car, in the cop car.
So he's met by the scientist who is doing his best bug impersonation from Men in Black.
Yeah, so we can see that he's
and
now
he
possessed by Jack.
Yeah, so he starts vomiting up a bunch of snow, and then he kind of realizes what's happened, and he makes a break for the car.
The sheriff makes a break for the car.
Once
he's like,
again,
fuck this shit. He just decides at this point, let's just leave.
But also, he once again has forgotten his keys because he doesn't have a thing on his belt for his keys.
But what's his plan here? Because like they're snowed in. Is he just going to drive like just down the road?
Yep.
Why couldn't he I didn't understand why they're in the car.
I don't know.
I know why they're in the car, because they have to. Anyhow, Jack's outside the car. Then he's inside the car.
Yes, the water starts pouring into the car. And like, because he forgot his keys, he's trying to hotwire the car. And then, of course, like...
Yeah, he's trying to hotwire his car.
So Jack then pops up into the back, and then they start to sort of tussle. And then somehow...
No, they get out, right?
Yeah.
They get out the window. And then for some reason, it's because he forgot to do it, because it must have been in the script. Jack, the sheriff, goes back, grabs the oatmeal lunch that the kid made him earlier, and slaps it into Jack's face. There is... no reason for him to do this. And the fact that he has to go back and do it.
Yep.
It's just like, what? And then, of course, the oatmeal melts Jack's face.
So we're under the impression now that
and it melts it and he can't grow back. And it's like gore his face. So they're doing the Chucky ending now where they're trying to like gore him up. It kind of looks okay. It's just kind of like melted rubber with red.
Yeah. Well, because you kind of almost want to be like, did this kid put so much salt in it? Because they've kind of been foreshadowing salt this whole time.
Which would have made sense.
Like, what kills snow? Salt.
And he goes, what did you put in that meal? And he goes, I just didn't want you to be cold, so I put heaps of antifreeze in there. And I was like, and he's like, antifreeze can kill it? And then I thought to myself, if your dad ate that, he'd die.
He was going to...
Kill his dad. So in the end, the murderer was the child. No, it wasn't. Yeah. So his kid had put antifreeze in the oatmeal, his lunch.
Yeah.
Which now, and of course, antifreeze.
Well, now we need a whole fuck tonnery of antifreeze. Where do you think you're going to get that? 20% off at the general store.
And now Jack gets hit by a truck.
Does he?
Yeah.
I don't even remember that bit.
It's the general store guy.
Oh, yeah.
So Jack gets, while they're trying to get away, Jack suddenly gets slammed by a truck, a pickup. Not a truck, a pickup.
Yeah,
I call them trucks. I don't know what they're called. Ute.
Because we're Australian.
He gets hit by a utility.
Yeah.
And it's the general store guy, and the sheriff's like, general store guy, dude, go get all the antifreeze you can. And he goes, okay, and he drives off. And that
so the sheriff decided he's keeping Jack occupied, so he's just like running around the town square. Like he runs into
Benny Hill music. No.
Yeah, he seeks refuge in some kind of like apartment building.
He just goes into a building
or sleaze motel because people are fucking everywhere.
Yeah,
you just hear it,
and we can hear like, and they try and do some jokes here. They're like, "Don't come in," and you hear a goat noise from inside. And I'm like, "Oh,
sure."
Humor this late in the film. You guys forgot to do it until now. So Jack so it's just a scene with Jack chasing the sheriff around the building and stuff. It's kind of shit. Like at no point, and it's all slow chasing.
Yeah.
But why doesn't Jack? And Jack's angry now. He wants to kill him because he's got a melted face, which isn't regenerating. Mm-hmm. Why did he just fire his icicles at him?
I just don't. Maybe
maybe
it was the one side.
And grabbing him and like.
Yeah. Maybe it's the one time he couldn't regenerate because he missed all his antifreeze body part. I don't know. Fuck, I don't know.
And, Jack finally catches the sheriff and, he's holding him up to him by the scruff of his neck and he's like, hey, motherfucker, I'm going to kill you. And at this point, the general store guy rocks up with his ute, backs into the building and he's filled up the back of the utility with antifreeze.
Yeah.
I don't know if that was the plan.
I think that was the plan.
And under the exact window that the sheriff and the Jack are battling, the sheriff grabs Jack and jumps out the window with him. He falls down. They both fall down into the pit, the utility, splash into the antifreeze. Very convenient.
It's so convenient.
Then we get just this really long shot of Jack wrestling with that wet fiber that we were talking about, like that what was it? That Lincraft's fucking fake snow.
Yeah, I don't fucking know.
It's all wet. It just looks like cotton wool. He's just rolling around with cotton wool, fighting it. It's fucking stupid.
But at some point as well, in the fall, Jack's arm flies off. So he's got like a little snowman arm sitting over there. It's fine. So he basically melts in this antifreeze. Everyone rejoices. But of course, the kid decides to pick up. He's like, oh, look, he's got it up. And it starts to strangle him.
Yeah, the arm wraps around him. But very easily, because the body couldn't stop him, they just pick the kid up and dump him into the ute and it just dissolves instantly. I'm like...
But so rather than just getting a little bit of antifreeze and just pouring it on the snow, they literally pick him up and ditch him into a vat of poison.
I don't know if antifreeze is poison. Well, antifreeze is basically it's coolant. I think is that this American word?
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
Like car coolant.
Yeah.
I think. I'm not sure what actually antifreeze is.
I'm going to say it's poisonous.
Look it up. Look it up right now. Anyhow, the arm just instantly dissolved. There was no threat.
Yeah.
That was that's the fourth time he's come back and like hasn't done anything. Done. Anyhow, that's it. Cut to the next morning. It's fine. The town is now so they've melted Jack in this antifreeze. For some reason, they have re-put him back into the antifreeze bottles. Why not just put him in a vat? No, they've individually filled up every antifreeze bottle meticulously, and they have put it, and they're the whole town is there, and they have dug a grave in the cemetery, and they're burying Jack in the bottles in a grave. And I'm like, you fucking idiots.
Well, no one's ever going to find him buried in a bunch of bottles in the middle of a fucking town.
True, but isn't the whole point is that... Are you ready? When they put the antifreeze on his face, he couldn't regenerate.
Yeah.
If he was in a vat of antifreeze and melted, he would not be able to regenerate, because that's the whole point of it. Yeah. They do not have to bury him. He has gone.
But...
They said that yeah, I know. But what happens?
But what happens is we get this shot of the antifreeze bottle bubbling.
But why?
Because it's trying to regenerate.
But why?
Because we need the sequel.
Are there sequels?
There is a sequel.
That's a fucking end. Thank fucking God. Okay. And that just cuts to the end. And I'm like, oh. Was that like a 17-hour film? So my final thoughts are, worst movie of the year. This is the worst movie we have watched in 2021. This was so carps. Carps is the word we used to use back when we were younger.
Sure.
It's because I had some friends in Port Lincoln, and they used to have a teacher that was named Mr. Karpinski.
Yeah.
And he got found out to be a molester.
Sure.
And so whenever he got called carps, it means like...
Oh, it means
it's
bear?
a very big insult. And
Yeah.
so this was fucking carps.
Yeah.
And yeah, bad acting, bad effects, bad script, not funny, no gore, just fucking nope. This is a nope job.
I thoroughly enjoyed reading all your comments as I was doing this. I'm like, I wonder what Dan thought about this.
I gave this a hard McConaughey, followed by a hard Jen special. A D-grade movie only Jen would like. But you didn't even like it, did you?
I loved it.
Oh, fuck you. You're a fucking trash human.
I am such a trash human. This film, this had a lot of potential. It was really shit. The acting was bad. There was no gore. I love cheesy one-liners and bad puns.
Yeah, I didn't mind the cheesy one-liners. It just never delivered.
This film doesn't deliver, but I think I must have just been in a really good mood when I watched it, because I just found the fun and the stupidity in this. This is a film that was not made intentionally to be funny, but it just so happened to be funny.
Dude, this film is like...
Because it's so bad.
This is like David Boring fucked an insane person, and the birth was this film.
Yeah, pretty much. This is not a great film. Will I watch it again? Probably. Probably not for another year or so. I gave this... this is fun and dumb. I gave it an F. It's fun and dumb. I also gave this a hard McConaughey, because it is the fucking fucked. This movie is just terrible. But I finally...
And you gave it a
And
Jen
I
special.
rounded off with a J, because this is 100% the kind of crap movie that I love.
Fair enough.
Done.
You dickhead.
Oh, that's the last Spoilercast of the year too.
Spoilercast. Good. Thanks for letting us,
Yeah.
ending on a high. I wish I was high when I was watching this. It might have made slightly more sense.
I was almost going to, because you can watch this for free on Tubi. I was going to do a double feature. I was just going to do this and then plow straight into the second one, but I got to the end of this and I'm like, I'm not going to do that. I'm not.
Oh my God. So is it my turn to choose a film?
It is your turn
so
to
I get
choose
I get the first film of 2022.
Yep.
And I am going to choose They Fucking Live.
Oh!
They Live.
Oh, yeah.
Fucking Randy, what's his name?
Randy Savage?
No.
It's not Randy Savage.
No, what's his name? The wrestler that's in that.
Oh, no, it's Rowdy Roddy Piper.
Rowdy Roddy Piper, that's it. Not Randy. Rowdy Roddy Piper.
I love that.
Oh, man, I haven't watched this film in ages.
It's been a while since I've watched it, so that's pretty good.
And my wife, Claire, wanted to watch this one. But now she doesn't get to see it because she'll be at work and I'll be watching it.
Aw, damn.
They Live, motherfucker. What year is that from?
1980 something.
1980 something. So yeah.
I'm excited. Yeah, that's awesome. Thanks for this end of year spoiler cast. I'm thoroughly enjoyed it.
We did it. We did a whole nother year. 2 years. Is it 2 years?
Almost. It'll be 2 years in like May something next year. It'll be 2 years.
I thought we were going to do like the Krampus. Krampus? Is that its name?
Krampus, yeah.
I remember me and you watched Krampus a couple of years ago for Christmas, and it was shit.
It was shit.
But it wasn't as shit as this.
I bet you wish you watched Krampus now. I don't know, like we have to do a Christmas film, and it was there.
Yeah, actually, last year we did Silent Night, Deadly Night, which I'd never seen. I remember had so much controversy around it, and it was just shit. It was the same.
I'm not a person who enjoys holiday, like Christmas. I don't really like Christmas movies. So a lot of these Christmas horror films I haven't seen. So it's always great for us to do an episode a year because at least we can do one a year.
All right, I put this towards our community. What is a good Christmas horror apart from Gremlins? Like, I can't think of one offhand. Like, as in really good. Like, an A-grade fucking horror flick. It's just Gremlins, isn't it?
Yeah.
I'm sure there is one that I can't think of off the bat right now. But yeah, throw it into the... Tell us.
Tell
us what you think is the best Christmas film, because I can't think of any... Like, they're always real lackluster. Sure, there's one called, like, Elves or something like that, isn't there? Like...
Yeah, there's a bunch, and there's like one called The Ginger Dead Man, and it has Gary Busey in it as the Ginger Dead Man, and there's like 5 of them. Who knows? Maybe next Christmas.
Because I just avoid Christmas-themed horror films because they've never been good.
I just avoid Christmas-themed everything.
Oh, nah, man.
Because
I love Christmas.
I am the Grinch. Anyway.
Have they done like a scary Grinch film?
Yeah, it's the Krampus.
Oh, is that what he is?
No. It's completely different. Anyway, you have been listening to TerrorVision Horror Podcast with Dan and Jennifer. We are available on all major podcasting services and also on the YouTubes. But no matter where you choose to consume us, please make sure to hit the like button, subscribe, leave a comment or a review, and make sure you share it with all your friends. You can interact with us on both Facebook and Instagram at TerrorVision Pod. It'll keep you up to date with upcoming episodes, trivia, and of course memes that are 100% 3 years old by now. We also have an email, terrorvisionpod@gmail.com, if you choose to get us in touch with us that way.
And until next time, may all your Christmas dreams come true.